Hello, Wanderers. Welcome back to Westeros and to Dragonstone, where Duncan Targaryen, the once known Prince of Dragonflies and now King Claimant to the Iron Throne, has lived these last 10 years. Now, this is an epilogue episode, a follow up to the series that we ran, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, following Duncan's story from the death of his family until his stalemate against the Blackfires that has left the realm in the situation that we see it here. And so 10 years has passed and some things have changed in Westeros. But as you can see, what has changed is that there is still chaos, and the rulers and the situation may be different, but there is no peace in Westeros, for that is too much to ask for. Now, we will get into what has happened in the meantime here since the end of that last episode and the 10 years that have happened in between. And then I believe at the end of this last episode, Duncan, who is now 50 plus years old, is going to do what has been on his mind for a very long time, and that is attempt to hatch a dragon. But first, I just wanted to go over where the world is, what has happened since the end of that last episode, and what the situation is, because you can see things are a little bit different. And I felt like this series needed an epilogue, although I struggled to think of a real strong idea or desire for following this up with an entire season 2. But I felt like this story needed some sort of something to cap it off, and so that's what we're going to be doing here today. And at the end of this, I do hope to make the mod pack that I'm using for this playthrough and the save file available to channel members. I'm hoping that I'll be able to do that. We will see. But if you are a member of the channel and you're in the Discord, just keep an eye out for that if I am able to make this work. So you too could potentially play at the end of this and follow up from this scenario. So in regards to that, let's see where we are. Well, you can kind of see that the situation is still much similar to how we left things off. We have the Blackfire Pretenders here in King's Landing, and now we have the new Targaryen claimancy, which rules Dragonstone and then has some vassals scattered around following up from that the end of that last series. So let's take a look first at Duncan and his family, and we'll use that as a stepping stone to talk a little bit about what has happened since then. I'm not sure if we'll run too much time as the story goes, but this will mostly be a little bit of talking, and then, like I said, at the end, potentially a dragon hatching. So let's take a look at our character here. King Duncan, the Prince of Dragonflies. Well, no longer probably known as the Prince of Dragonflies, though that moniker will have held. You can see that he is remarried. He was once married to the beautiful Jenny of Old Stones, a strange and interesting woman, and really the catalyst for, everything that happened. This, when Duncan married Jenny and spurned Lionel Baratheon, who is still ruling in the Stormlands, 81 years old. He's half blind, but still ruling in the Stormlands. Still got 27 prowess despite minus 41 from his old age. So he's 81 years old. He can still beat most people in combat here. But yeah, Duncan marrying Jenny was what spurred Lionel Baratheon's rebellion. That was what allowed the Blackfires to have an opportunity to attack in, I believe it was maybe the 4th Blackfire Rebellion, 5th Blackfire Rebellion, something like along those lines. And they were successful in slaying our father, Aegon, Egg, as many of you will know him. And our brothers and sisters were all killed in that war as well. We were really the only survivor of our immediate family. So we have remarried after Jenny's death. We remarried into House Celtigar. Now, that is, an esteemed Valyrian house, but not, they're not a highborn house, or, well, they are a highborn house, obviously, but they're not of the, the stature of the Tyrells or the Baratheons or House Aaron or anything like that. But our realm is much smaller, and we needed alliances, and so remarrying to Valena here was just a smart political move by Duncan. That happened several years ago, and we have had one child by her, Prince Duncan the Younger. This is maybe Prince Duncan the Even Smaller, since we were once known as Duncan the Small. But yeah, you can see we have, well, in total 6 children, although there's actually 7 because we do have a secret child, I believe. Yeah, this girl here, Rosalind Stone, who is in our court, the daughter of Lady Delan of Woodhedge, apparently is actually our daughter. I don't remember that from the last episode. I don't remember a dalliance here with Lady Delan, but apparently this is our child. I went and checked, and it actually is true that she is our child. So interesting little tidbit there. So we actually have 7 kids in total. You'll remember Princess Willow, the hatchling as she is now known, which is very cool. She is married to Lord Orion Velaryon. Obviously a very esteemed house, Velaryon. Who else do we have for our children? Yes, Prince Aegon Targaryen, who looks badass having lost his eye. Aegon, one eye. He's turned out fairly well. I mean, interesting that he's got the insightful thinker trait. His stats are not terrible, but he's actually quite good in combat. But yeah, he lost an eye in the 6th Blackfire Rebellion, which I'll talk about in just a moment here. You can see we've got our daughter, Princess Jenny Targaryen, who is married to a Stark. I'll get a little bit more into that as well. Prince Jaehaerys Targaryen, our other son, slain in battle. That also happened in the 6th Blackfire Rebellion. We've got Sir Trystane Waters, our son, who is now 16 years old. This is our bastard son, and he is currently in the company of Sir Jamos the Wolf. Yeah, he's been kind of taken under the wing of Sir Jamos here, who you'll also remember there as well. And then, like I said, we've got Prince Duncan here, who's athletic, ambitious. This kid's actually turning out pretty decent. So you heard me mention it, the 6th Blackfire Rebellion. What happened there? Well, that ties into the Starks, and it ties into this current situation with King Maelys the Ugly Fire ruling in King's Landing. So what happened to King Maelys? King Maelys ended up fighting a war with the Starks. The Starks came down. King Edwyle the Worthy, blind and infirm, depressed as well, went on a war of revenge, and he actually captured Maelys and executed him. So you can see here, executed on the orders of King Edwyle the Worthy. However, immediately after that, King Gaimon, the Great Flame, the son of Maelys, ended up launching a war on us, launching a war on Duncan, the 6th Blackfire Rebellion, and the fight was going, I guess, a little bit back and forth once again. But we did have the Vale as our allies. King John the Red Moon. This is Jon Arryn, who you will know from the books, although much different. He has a lot of kids in this scenario here. But yeah, our alliance with House Arryn, even though they aren't our vassals, they have been close allies of us. And so we were able to defeat them. We captured King Gaimon at the end of that war, and we executed him. His son took over, but 4-year-old King Maynard didn't last long with his brother, or his uncle King Maelys here, with cowardly, arbitrary, impatient, and sadistic. He wasn't waiting around and so he took control violently. And that's kind of that current situation. So our son Jaehaerys died in that war. He was slain by Lord Alfros of Longbar, and then Prince Aegon lost his eye there as well. He is currently married to Princess Kella Arryn, and they are expecting a child in not the far future. She actually has amazing traits here. And then Aegon turned out pretty decent. Shy, generous, ambitious, chaste. Those aren't terrible traits by any means. Most of our kids, I thought, turned out pretty decently here. Decent sets of traits for all of them. So yeah, that was the 6th Blackfire Rebellion. We were successful. The Blackfires lost most of their, far off support after that defeat. Blood Royal Edgar Ironwood here, who is absolutely a crazy character. I mean, look at all his traits. He's huge. He's a brutal warrior, 50 prowess at 52 years of age. I mean, Blade Master, a marauder. He's a sodomite as well. Huge, half blind. This guy is absolutely insane, like quite the villain, and he made himself out to be a villain, having slain all of these different characters when he was fighting against us in those wars against King Melee. So House Ironwood has broken away and become independent, and they're honestly they're actually stronger than the Martells currently in Dorne. So yeah, that's an interesting scenario there. Old Town also broke away from the Blackfires. We did capture King Lymond, and the crumbling tower here crumbled under the pressure and broke free of the Blackfires in order to be released from his imprisonment. The Oakhearts joined with Old Town. They're still technically independent. They didn't want to bend the knee to the Tyrells. Old Town is proud and quite strong, and so they didn't, I guess, see the need to bend the knee over there. The Western Lands in Castamere, not really much has happened with them at all during this playthrough. They've been very quiet. We haven't seen too much from them. The Riverlands is an interesting situation. So we have House Blackwood, which are cousins. We have cousins in Blackwood, and then House Bracken is still vassals as well, and that is due to the fact that we have Amos Bracken with us, and he was able to help us kind of forge at least a tenuous peace between the two houses. Cape of Eagles joined us as well a little bit more recently, and that's because of this situation that you see here. So I don't know what happened. This was just AI stuff, but the Vale attacked the Riverlands and basically made all of these like places tributaries of them. So basically all of these lords and ladies along the Trident are now vassals of the Vale, and the Riverlands is shrunken quite a bit. So they've got House Vance, House Piper, the other Vances, but that's pretty much it for the Tullys. So Tullys have spineless empath. Yeah, that sounds about right for how the Tullys have been doing over there. Like I mentioned, the Stormlands still ruled by the badass Storm King Lionel, the Laughing Storm himself. I believe his grandson here, Sir Robert Baratheon. Is this our Robert Baratheon? Probably not exactly, but you know what? Kinda, it could be. He's not huge, and he's not the brutal warrior that our Robert was. But this is as close to this timelines as we're gonna get to a Robert. They've actually been going hard onto the Stepstones, conquering it and forcing the pirates to become tributaries of them. So very cool. Not too much to say about Essos there. What's the rest of the situation? Oh, we've got a king, King Darklyn over in the Duskwashes. Not too much of note there. And then, like we said, in the north, we've got King Edwile the Worthy The wall is also now ruled by Lord Commander Andred Breakstone. Indeed, Bloodraven did he die? Did he disappear? It's who's to say? I mean, he lived until, he lived until he was 91 years old. But you know what? I like to think that even though it says that he died of consumption, I don't think that he really died. I think that he disappeared. Do we have is Egg still, or the Aemon still alive? He is still alive. So Maester Aemon still over in the wall as well, serving as the Maester there. And then yeah, the wildlings doing wildling things here. So, they are what they are. So that's kind of the world situation. There is this one slightly interesting Lord Gothos Samberries here. He is from Tyrosh, I believe, right? And he somehow conquered this little bit of Flint's Finger, but is is a tributary of the Stormlands. No idea how that happened. And then the Iron Islands is ruled by King Jon Greyjoy after his father Quelon was forced to abdicate. So that's basically the entire situation. I think the only other thing we want to probably take a look at is some of the important characters. And we'll start with probably go down this list, but we'll start with Lord Commander Duncan the Tall. Yes, Duncan lived till 70 years old. He had 54 prowess at his age. Beast of a man, truly a great man. Lord Commander of the Kingsguard for a long time, and he was a good man, honorable. And, he died not long after the war, about 10 years ago, so just after the end of the last playthrough. And he left the Kingsguard to Amos Driftface. Yes, the bastard of House Bracken, bastard son of Otho the Brute. And he has been a big reason why the Brackens have kind of stayed with us. He has a lot of influence over his former house here. But indeed, he is... he's fought well for us. I mean, we can see that he's slain a few people. Actually, did Duncan get any? Oh, wow. Actually, Duncan, I think some of these were from, before. Yeah, I think some of these were from before the story started. But yeah, Amos is the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard. Let's take a look at the Kingsguard actually really quick, because there are some interesting characters currently in the Kingsguard. So we're going to just search for the Kingsguard trait. So we can see Lord Commander Amos. We can see a very interesting one here, and that is Benjen Stark. We have a Stark in the Kingsguard. I think that has never happened before, in an interesting turn of events. This is the son of Ardos the Implacable from, from our fame of our other series that we ran with Ardos himself. He has a brother here, Brandon the Howling Wolf. That's the one who's married to Jenny. So in order to pay our debt to House Stark, we basically had to offer our daughter, to, because of the help that the Starks gave us. And so, Jenny married a Stark, and a Stark was sent to join our Kingsguard. So kind of cool. I mean, he's a badass warrior. So, and very fitting, good Kingsguard traits: diligent, gregarious, honest, humble. He's a good man for the Kingsguard. We've got Sir Baron Stagtree, an older man, but a capable warrior who has fought well for us for several years. I imagine that, he's just a warrior who made a name for himself in those previous wars. We've got Sir Valar Celtigar. I mean, the House of the Crabs is, strong within our realm. And so Sir Valar here is serving us well. Interesting one here is Sir Eustace Sternwellow. Now, this is the son of Bennett the Bearded and Roslyn the Compassionate. You'll remember the priest, or the Septon and the Septa, who broke their vows to marry each other. Now, Roslyn despises us for the war that we've, brought upon, the land. She saw us as a hero at first, a champion of the small folk, but the war we brought really, you know, soured her to us. And then her husband died fighting in our service. And she probably is even more soured to us now that Sir Eustace Cernwell, her son, has decided to join us in our Kingsguard. But it's understandable that he would do so because Sir Duncan was, or King Duncan, was well respected and well upheld. You know, people like Duncan and thought well of him. So you know, Sir Eustace here, good Kingsguard traits as well. We've got Sir Mero Otharies, an interesting man, a Bravosi who is, I think he was recommended by Amos or somebody to join us because of his skill, and so we do have him here in the Kingsguard. And then of other interesting note is Roran Blackwood, our cousin and a member of House Blackwood here, who serves on the Kingsguard. I believe his father slain in battle. Yeah, father probably. Yeah, this was somebody who his father died presumably in one of those wars against King Melee. So that's the Kingsguard. We've taken a look at Lady Jenny, the Ghost of High Heart, passed away as well. Here are some heroes from those previous wars. Sir Powell Pemford, you will know. He has two daughters who are, one's married to the House of Derry. The other one's married into House Greysteel here. So Powell Pemford has, you know, his legacy lives on. Victor Branchfoot, one of our Kingsguard, lost an eye, lost an arm, and lost a leg in service to us. I mean, this guy is literally the knight from Monty Python, essentially. He just kept going. But a badass, and he has a proper entry in the White Book. That is for sure. We took a look at Rosalind already. Jamos as well. Sir Jamos is leading his own company here. And like I said, he's got our son, Sir Tristane Waters, was his squire, knighted by him as well. People know that Tristane is the son of King Duncan. His mother did bring him to our court, and that's when he ended up with Jamos. But I mean, look at the kid. I mean, he is obviously Duncan's son here. So people know, but it's you know, not like the it's an open secret, I imagine. We've got Sir Conwy Chafford here, also died in battle serving us. Unfortunately, no children of his own. We looked at Bennett Sternwell as well. Maester Edwell here is no longer in our service, but now in the service of Lady Catherine. Angus Aaron, another one slain in battle. Proper warrior Angus. He was our heavy cavalry captain for a while. That was pretty cool. And Grendel the Anvil, this warrior dwarf who fought well for us, but died in that war as well. One of the few survivors, Silas Tarot. He has you know, he has served well. He got quite a few kills during that war. Beesbury, Brune, a couple of notable names there. And he now serves as the captain of our household guard. Not really entirely sure how much he wants that job, but he has served us well for a long time. And you know, he is, despite rumors about his past, he is an honorable man, as we can see. And he is married to Iris Gleaner here, so we'll see if his lineage continues. Grumpkin of Dragonstone, our head dragon keeper, he will probably play an important role as we go into the ceremony here. Braden Bowling, the healing wizard, House Bowling here. He has ended up with a daughter as well, bastard daughter, with Mistress Janea of Clearbright. Good to know. He's got the, you know, his bloodline will continue as well. Barristan Selmy died too soon, maimed and died of his injuries. He wasn't able to kill Melees like he did in canon. Reyna here is just the mother of Tristane, and then we've got Tristane himself. So yeah, those are all the important characters. That's the catch up of what has happened in those last 10 years. And with that, I think that there's not really that much else that we need to do other than, I suppose, begin with the ceremony. So we are going to now attempt the Dragon Age hatching. Dragon Age hatching? Dragon Egg hatching. Hopefully starting a Dragon Age. Failure may lead to unexpected consequences. I guess we'll see what those consequences are. Now we have two options, a knowledge hatching and an esoteric hatching. You know, I feel like Duncan, you know, considering his father ended up dying in canon by, you know, in the tragedy at Summerhall, which we can all assume was potentially an attempt to hatch a dragon egg there. I think that Duncan has maybe become like a little bit unhinged in his pursuit of this. I mean, he's failed to bring the Targaryens back. He's watched the realm descend into war and chaos. And I think he's a little bit desperate. And I think that desperation is going to lead him to looking for more unconventional means to hatch this dragon egg. We're obviously going to do this here in Dragonstone. We're going to max out everything that we possibly can. And I'm going to manage the guests because I don't really want... I don't really want Tristane to come. Does he count as close family? Probably. Yeah, okay. So we're getting rid of our close family, but Prince Duncan will still be there. Yeah, I think we'll probably invite court guests so people in the court can come. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, we've got Princess Vaella here, our aunt, I believe, our cousin, and King Edwyle is coming as well, which is interesting. He's our cousin as well. So friends, lovers, we'll just invite anybody. I just wanted to make sure that Tristane wasn't here, because it doesn't really make sense, and I don't want him to possibly die in this situation. So that seems fine, though. I think people are interested and curious. You know, there's people who come to the court of Dragonstone here, and so this is perhaps when such a thing happens. So we're gonna do it. Let's just see what happens. I have sent out summons to the famed minds of sorcery and magic in the world to make their way to Dragonstone and to lend their art to my cause. I sift through the responses from warlocks in Karth and the magi in Cahor, among other names from more exotic corners of the world, making a note of the most reputable and knowledgeable of them, excited to insist in such ambitious magics. With my esoteric guests on their way, it is high time I am on mine. One must look to unconventional means to achieve unconventional goals. That is absolutely correct. So let's see how this scenario plays out here. We're waiting on guests, so it's going to take a little bit of time before they all arrive. What do we have here? Mercenary contract ending. Not worried about that. So, we'll let time flow. Lines about legacy. King Roger Rain, the Red Lion, has sent us a poem. I suppose that's totally fine with me. How long until my son has his wife has a child? 5 months. So the hatching will probably occur just before the child is born. So we'll see how this goes. The Stag of Dragonstone needs a worthy successor. Denounced by the head of the house, King Melees. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll take that with a certain grain of salt, obviously. How much longer? Just a few days here. All right, let's roll down time a little bit here, and let's see what happens. My guests have arrived, and my pet magi have begun to chant their spells and prepare their reagents. We must now decide who will lead us in the ritual. Well, I mean, we could have a warlock or a pyromancer, a woods witch, or a red priest. But I believe that we are the best to lead this. We are the blood of the dragon, after all. Oh, speaking of blood, the various arcane maesters who attend this gathering have ideas as wild and varied as the lands from which they hail. However, one thing they all agree on is that blood must be spilled. The question is, how much? Do I take a bleeding, as is the custom of my people, or do I offer a more substantial sacrifice? Many among the gathered esoterics are in agreement that life must be paid for life and nothing less will do. The question is, do I agree? I will give what is necessary. Oh, a life will be sacrificed. I mean, I think Duncan is set on this course. I think he understands the only, Aegon the Conqueror brought peace to the realm. Well, he brought war to the realm, but eventually there came peace. Actually, I don't know how much we can say that, but I think Duncan is just really believes that, well, and also we have to factor in too, more so than just peace in the realm. Duncan went north of the wall. He knows what's beyond there, or well, he doesn't know what's beyond there, but he knows that there's a threat beyond there. He probably believes the Song of Ice and Fire prophecy. I think he understands that he needs to give what is necessary. Each and every one of my warlocks and sorcerers tell me all the same thing. All of Valyria and her dragons were steeped in blood magic. With it, I can bring this new life into the world, but only life can pay for life, and now I must choose my price. I can choose a prisoner. Perhaps Edwile would agree, my cousin. One of my guests will pay the price. Oh, man. You know what? I think Duncan, he's lost Jenny. He lost his son. He lost his entire family. I think that Duncan at this point, I don't know how, he's been stuck on Dragonstone for 10 years, brooding over this, just probably deep within ancient texts, ancient magic, just trying to understand if this is even possible. And I think that once he comes to this realization that only the blood of the dragon could bring forth a dragon, and he's not going to sacrifice like any of his children or anything. I think that he would give his own life and entrust the realm to his children, to Willow and to Aegon, to Jenny, to Duncan, and possibly even a little bit to Trystane. I think he's going to give his own life to it. With the sacrifice determined, we must now prepare the catalyst to imbue the egg with the power of the life force given. The energies released in the ritual to come must be neither too intense nor too weak, lest the egg be destroyed in the process. With a large amount of resources and the appropriate fanfare to put into the ceremony, I must now decide how to heat the egg in a specially designed receptacle. Well, I think we obviously need to use the volcano of Dragonmont for the ceremony. That seems just like the obvious answer here. So yeah, let's absolutely do that. A new age dawns, and what a pleasure it is to be here at its beginning. The time has come to begin the ritual. The rites are spoken and the reagents are prepared. I stand before those gathered as their chanting swells around me, the egg feeling warm in my hands. Oh, that's a good sign. With a deep breath, I step forward and take the blade in my hand, ready to make the ultimate sacrifice. I stand before the egg, blade poised against my throat, and slice. Oh, that's savage. There's a moment of pain, the feeling of warmth spilling down my chest, and then nothing. May my sacrifice bring forth the dragon. Will it be successful? King Duncan's spirit has flown to the heavens. He was sacrificed in the dragon hatching ceremony. King Aegon assumes the throne. Continue as King Aegon. Well, we should pause it here. Was the sacrifice successful? I mean, did a dragon come from that? I guess I don't really know. I don't really know if we know. I mean, I guess we can't see it because Duncan is dead. I mean, can we search? There's got to be a way, right? Let's think there is. You can see dragons. Did a dragon come from that? Manage realm affairs, right? Select subject, dragons. Show me the world's dragons. I guess maybe there is no dragon. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if that was successful or not. I don't think it was. But perhaps you will change this for yourself. There are ways to summon dragons after all within the game. And if I can get this save file to work, like I said, I will make it available to channel members. But regardless, King Aegon the Sixth Targaryen now rules Dragonstone. He's a badass himself. You know, the sacrifice of King Duncan to bring the dragons back, was it successful? I'll leave that up to you to decide whether his sacrifice was. You know, where the story goes from here, I'll put that in your imaginations and potentially in your hands as well. But anyways, thank you for watching me ramble on in this long epilogue episode. Like I said, I just wanted to put a cap on this series. And now I turn it over to you. Until the next one, Wanderers, thank you so much for watching. I will see you soon.